Hi Cubs, it's your favorite computer cat, Mickup, and I'm here with
Lee.
um and today I'm starting a new series called Interests Illuminated where I talk to people about their special interests and hobbies. So tell us, what are you going to be talking about today?
I'm gonna be talking about MBTI, bro.
All right, thank you. Okay, are we ready to start this interview, guys?
Yes.
All right. So, first of all, I have to ask you, what exactly is MBTI?
Okay. MBTI, it stands for Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, and it's a pseudoscience based on Carl Jung's theory of psychological type, which is a theory that determines the way you think, process information, and behave, represented by the infamous four-letter labels. The way it is formatted depends on the two types of cognitive processes: perception and judgment. Each process has two functions. In the perception family is sensation and intuition, and in the judgment family is thinking and feeling. The four-letter typing you receive depends on the order in which these functions are sorted. In the first space, which is I or E, depends on whether your very first function in your stack is externally focused or internally focused. The fourth letter, which is P or J, determines which branch of cognitive processes your first external function is. The middle letters, S or N and T or F, are dependent on the first and final letters. For example, as I'm ISTJ, my first external function would have to be external thinking, as indicated by the I at the start, outruling my judgment function from being in the first slot, and the J at the end, which tells me if it's thinking or feeling. Using the remaining letter S, we can infer that my first function will be internal sensing. You only really need to know your first two functions, as the last two will be in opposing order to the ones we already know. Internal sensing's opposite is external intuition, so this would be the last slots and SIs in the first.
Thank you. Sorry. So, alright. Wow, thank you.
Wow.
Thanks for giving this beautiful overview. Um, but I do have to ask, since you know so much about this, what exactly got you into MBTI, or like, how did you find out about it? I'm a great
Well,
interviewer, guys.
I had known about MBTI since like 2020 from my friend, but they had only really known about the version that 16personalities.com tells you, which I'll get into later. But at this point, I had no interest in learning about it, and even though I thought that I'd never understand how the letters came to be or what they represented, years later, in late 2023, a new friend had introduced me to what MBTI really is, and would then motivate me to learn about it myself. Since January of 2024, I had been perfecting my knowledge on the topic by doing extensive research and making my own notes, memorizing the stacks and rules to how they're sorted. Pretty epic.
Wrong emote, guys. Give me a second. Wow. Okay,
Don't
I
you
need
like
to
my emote?
stop. I need to stop saying wow. Okay. Um.
That's
So
alright.
you must be really grateful for that friend, huh? For doing
No,
that.
I hate them. Jokes!
Okay. Well, now there's more than one funny part in the interview. Okay. Anyway. So
uh,
um, with that 16 personalities website that you were talking about, are all MBTI test websites?
Alright. I would say that no test is really accurate, as you
I
know
didn't
your own
ask
mind
the
best.
question. I didn't ask the question. Sorry, guys. I got a bit carried away. Okay.
Sigma? I thought you did.
Are all MBTI test websites accurate? And what are the most and least accurate websites in your experience?
Buddy. Okay, I would say no test is really accurate, as you know your own mind best. That goes for people who are willing to learn how cognitive functions really work. For those who don't want to do that, there is this website my friend had shown me that actually tests for specific functions, which
Woo!
is https://www.michaelcarlos.com/personality/. Rather than
Yeah.
just personality traits you share with certain types. Looking at you, 16personalities.com. I don't actively search for tests, but I know for sure that anyone who only knows MBTI based on those little drawings from 16personalities.com aren't fully aware of how MBTI works. Yikes.
Embarrassing.
Boo!
Are you done with question 3?
Question, dude. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Dude, who is giving me like 50 notifications? Sorry, guys.
Me,
I'm
actually.
getting off topic. So, are there any common misconceptions about MBTI that you'd like to prove wrong? Go for it, man.
The biggest misconception I can think of is that people assume MBTI is personality, thanks to 16personalities.com. I will not get over my beef! When really, it is just organizing your thought process into a stack of functions. For example, a lot of people say that EXTJ people are heartless and cruel. While this may be true for some, it isn't for all. Being EXTJ just means you prioritize finding the fastest, most efficient solution to a problem. It has nothing to do with how you act, which is why a lot of people get mistyped. Another misconception which I have also faced is actually just mistyping yourself. This is because your function stack can tend to oppose itself when you're very stressed. You should type yourself based on the functions you exhibit when you're mentally stable. That way you can get results that most accurately represent the way you think.
That's beautiful advice. I appreciate that very much.
No problem.
So, um, I'm sure we already kind of know the answer to this based on what you're saying, but how are you able to tell someone's personality type without them taking the test? And how are you able to figure out yours? Voice
Well,
crack.
to put it simply, to put it simply, observation. When I talk to people, I try to look for any signs or intentions that will tell me the functions that they use. Then I'll try to order those functions in the way I see most fitting to how they respond to things. For example, I could judge that my classmate uses internal feeling and in hand external thinking, as they must be opposite, by the reason why she picked up a banana peel off the ground. Yeah, it can be that mundane. My friend had asked her, "Did you pick it up so that nobody would trip over it?" Which would indicate external feeling. However, she responded, "No, because I might step on it." Determining sensing and intuition is more difficult, though, but can be done if you pay attention to how someone explains their thought process. If one says, "I do this because it has worked in the past," you can tell that they have internal sensing. On the other hand, if they say that they do this because the situation at hand calls for it, then you can see that they have external sensing. Usually, I try to determine one function from both perception and judgment categories so that the second of each will be opposite, unless I encounter them contradicting this. For me, I could tell by my abundant external thinking function and my abhorrently bad external intuition function, which puts it in the inferior slot in my stack, removing the possibility of me being ESTJ as its NE is higher. I also find myself reflecting constantly on past instances in order to respond to new ones, which is what gave me my internal sensing as my dominant function. So yeah.
Wow.
Wowza!
Wowee!
Zing.
So, with all that being said, guys, what are some facts about MBTI that people may not know?
Well, first thing I could think of is the fact that pseudoscience means fake science. None of this can be scientifically proven by tests or experiments, but it's still interesting to learn if you like to understand people. And 16personalities.com again. Whenever you see somebody stating their MBTI with the suffix T or A, I can usually tell that they aren't educated on MBTI like I am, which then gives me the opportunity to study them. The suffix is only relevant to the MBTI that 16personalities.com assesses, which doesn't actually matter for how you think. All it means is whether you're stable or not, assertive or turbulent. Oh, and also note that you can be really good at performing a function but not having it on your stack. The ones that matter most is what comes to your mind first. For example, I have really well-developed external feeling, which made me mistype myself a lot before as ISFJ, and I realized that external feeling is less of a priority to me than my external thinking is in terms of how my mind works. So yeah, that's all the facts that I could really think of.
That's brilliant.
Excellent!
Now, since I believe we have a bit of time left, I don't exactly know how much time, but I'm
Yeah, this
sure
has
you can.
taken 10 minutes. I have
Oh
done this a
shit.
bit too fast.
Um, well, maybe we can do some kind of, I don't know. We can do something, guys, to extend the time. Um, so what are some things, anything else that you'd like to mention about MBTI that you think that you can,
Hmm.
do off the top of your head? It's okay, we can do a ramble. It's more fun like that.
A lot of like one of the other things that I like have in my brain about MBTI is just personal bias about the types that I like and don't like, which may be kind of rude. So, um, okay. Oh, I should also explain my lore of all of my mistyping moments. But first, oh, okay. So when I was studying MBTI to begin with, I had tried to like explain each function in terms of like personality traits, which wasn't very helpful to me because that made me think that a lot of INFP and ENFP people were just like selfish and rude, only really caring about themselves. But that is blatantly wrong because not everybody's like that, as I just stated. But that was that was an old me, okay? Trust. That was
You're a
me
new
from
you now.
exactly a year ago. I've turned a new leaf.
A
All
new
right.
leaf.
Yes. Okay. My second thing is my a crazy history of mistyping myself. Okay, when I was studying, um, I was finding out like what all of the functions were like in terms of personality again, and since I often change how I act to respond to other people, it made me think that I was either ESFJ or ISFJ because external feeling, as I said before. Why does your face look like that? Okay.
Oh, sorry. I did the wrong toggle, guys. Okay.
Okay. Um. Yeah. So
Whoops.
I had done that by accident, and then I had gotten to a point where I had so many that related to me that I ended up actually recently concocting a list of every character that I related to, and then deciphering their MBTI, and then comparing the results. So let me get that up. Actually, the most common one amongst the characters that I relate to was ENTJ, and in the second place, let me find it. Um, yeah,
Meow.
was yes, INFJ. So obviously, those two weren't what I have assigned myself now, ISTJ.
Mhm.
So then I was wondering, what if I'm all of them? So then I almost said since I'm schizophrenic, that's not what I meant. Since I'm awesome, I
Okay.
had made like my own system where you know how when you're describing a personality, you describe like layers of like themselves, like faces.
Not
It's
really.
like first face is like how you act externally to around everybody.
Mhm.
Second
Oh,
face
yeah, I get
is
it
how
now.
you act with your friends, and then third is how you act by yourself. Yeah,
Mhm.
I had taken that into account and then just attached my other MBDIs onto it. So I had like made my uh, externalist self, I think ISTJ, and
Mhm.
then the next one down was INFJ, and then down again was ENTJ.
Mhm.
So I had cheated the system because I couldn't decide which I was. Um, but now I'm just gonna say I'm ISTJ because I've had that for the longest time.
Mhm.
Um, on the typology spiel, I will also just mention the existence of an diagram, which is pretty epic. Um, it's just like it's a set of 1 to 9 numbers, and
Mhm.
each of them have like a basic fear and a basic desire, and you can assign yourself like whichever one most relates to you, and then the next one, since it's formatted like number W number,
Mhm.
you have to choose between either of the two numbers directly next to the first one that you chose.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that's pretty epic. I also made a list of things. Man, I really like lists. Okay, but I'd also made a list of all the characters and diagrams to assign myself as well.
Mhm.
And usually I'm one wing two, but this one gave me three wing four, with one wing two being my second most.
Oh,
I think that's
one
pretty epic.
second, guys. How much time did we miss if you were counting?
I think it was just like a minute or two. Doesn't really matter.
Okay. Um, well, this is going to be an interesting moment for the uncut part. Anyway, um,
I think I think my main issue is I talk way too fast.
oh no, that's
But
okay.
we can't do retakes,
It's alright.
alright?
We're doing it. I do have a question for you, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, two questions actually. Would you like me to ask them both at once, or would you like me to say one and then you say the answer and then I do the next one?
Yeah, go separate.
Okay, first of all, you mentioned that you made like a list of characters that and like
Yeah.
decoded their MBTI types and yeah,
And diagram times? Yeah.
yeah. Sorry guys, I'm learning. Anyways, um, do you know those like
Brain fart?
websites? Okay, buddy. Do you know those
Oh, the
websites
insights?
where
Oh
oh
my
no,
god, bruh.
where
Oh my god,
where it
bruh.
like shows characters
Are you talking
MBTI?
about personality database?
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
you think that's accurate?
I don't really like those a lot because I feel like a lot of them are just because it's just like a free for all in there. Like
Mm.
whoever gets the most votes wins. I think that's kind of silly.
Oh
I
yeah.
like when people comment the reasons why they think a certain character is what, but a lot of
Mhm.
people don't do that and just vote for whatever's most popular. So it's just kind of, you know,
Oh yeah.
free for all for which MBDI it is.
And I'm
Speaking
sure.
of,
Oh, sorry.
um,
Do you want to
yeah,
go?
speaking of, it's actually it's actually related. I fucking so I don't know if I can swear. I
No, we
saw
don't care. Anyway.
phew. I saw an MBTI for Rainbow Dash, and it was so blatantly wrong, dude.
Oh
They think
no.
that they think that Rainbow Dash is ESTP when she's very much ESFP. I know that's just such a minor issue, but like
Mm.
the difference between internal thinking and internal feeling is just very, very different. So I don't know how they could even. I even read comments explaining why, and it's so silly. Their opinion is so flawed. It's Rainbow Dash. I know. I don't even care that much about My Little Pony, but like, come on, get it right.
That's true.
What was your next question?
My next question is that also really quickly before I go to my next question, um,
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say before that I'm sure with those like character sites, personality database, whatever it's called, um,
Yeah,
I'm sure with websites like that where you just vote on the top answer, that a lot of
yeah,
people are just gonna vote for the more popular. I'm gonna lead into the
yeah,
next
exactly.
question, like they're gonna lead into the more popular MBTI types as well, right?
Yeah.
And with that being
Mm-hmm.
said, what is the most rarest and least rarest, like most common and most rare MBTI?
Um, Recently I've noticed like a lot of people are INFP because of their like ability to know what they want.
Mhm.
And also the fact that a lot of people are kind of more anxious these days, so they're bound to like think of more reasons for why something is happening, which is where the external intuitions comes from.
Mhm.
Um, and as for rarest, I wouldn't say it's rare, but I would say that I think like the ones that I doubt the most whenever I see is when people say that they have internal thinking as their dominant function, like ISTP or INTP,
Mhm.
because I just doubt the ability of some people. Like I see people with like a crazy card bio it's thing, and I'll just
A
judge their
crazy
MBTI
card.
from the way that they talk about themselves. And it is not ISTP core. I don't know why they even thought that, but anyway. Um, I don't think it's rarest. I read somewhere that judging functions are
Oh,
probably
guys, I
the
gotta
most
be right
common.
back. Keep talking, bro.
Okay. Yeah, so I had read somewhere that um, MBTI with high judging functions like ENTJ or ISTJ, etc., are like really common because judging is probably the most easiest thing for a person to do. And I had seen that people with intuition as um, intuition and sensing, which are the perception functions, they're some of the like least common. It was this random study, this graph of you know how common they are um, from some research in America. I don't think it's that relevant. Um, I think you can just make your assumptions based on who you meet, but either way.
I'm back. What was going on?
I basically said perception. People with high perception functions are probably the least common, and people with high judgment functions are the most.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I have another question. What kind of people,
Yeah.
like, what were they saying on their cards that made it so questionable? Because I don't see much
Um,
crazy stuff on
I
people's
usually
cards.
I usually judge based on like because usually people have like a before you interact section and they'll
Oh, yeah.
describe things that they do.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't expect someone of like with a high external feeling function to be like I don't care what you think because that's not what external feeling is.
Mhm.
I should probably explain what each function really means in like simple terms.
Mhm.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, go for it, buddy. It's all eyes on
Okay.
you, man.
Yeah, as it should be. What? Okay. um, First up, I'll do thinking. Um, External thinking is just when you're presented with a problem, you like look for the most efficient solution. Whereas internal thinking is you try to understand everything about the problem rather than diving straight into the solution.
Mhm.
Um, with sensing, external sensing, as my example from the totally not scripted part, said uh, it it kind of focuses on what the situation at hand calls for to be
Mhm.
done, whereas internal sensing it reflects within to see what it should do. Because if I've done something a certain way in the past, I'm going to do it again if a similar situation arises.
Mhm.
Whereas maybe an ESTP, for example, they would just whatever the situation is, they're gonna analyze the elements of the situation and then take that in and figure out what they should do then. With feeling, external feeling is when the person responds to and reflects what the community wants or the other person that they're talking to wants, rather than what they themselves want. This will also be like, I've seen a lot of people say that this function is kind of manipulative at times, which of course it can be, anybody can be that. But I've also seen people say that they don't like people with this function because they can get too like attached to what people think about them, and it kind of makes them hard to deal with. But I think that people with external feeling are kind of nicer people than people with internal feeling. And on that note, people with internal feeling, they
evil. No, I'm joking.
they're awful. No, they prioritize their opinion over others. So like, an example of this would be when my mutual friend was complaining and speaking poorly of like the furry community, and as someone who doesn't mind or even likes that community, I was just kind of, I knew that my opinion was not better, but like more valuable to me than theirs. So I wouldn't change what I think depending on the other person, whereas someone with external feeling would. Intuition. This one was kind of hard for me to understand for a long time because I'm really bad at both of those functions. But either way, I have made the realization that external intuition is basically expanding an idea. So, for example, if you say you have back pain, you're gonna brainstorm a bunch of reasons why you could have back pain. Whereas someone with internal intuition, they would kind of like, I don't know, immediately know, well, no, that's bad. I shan't use the same example, but yeah. So what I understand is that internal intuition is connecting ideas, whereas external intuition is expanding from an idea. So they kind of reverse. Here's a better example. If someone with high external intuition sees somebody upset, they're gonna try and think of a lot of different ways why. And someone with internal intuition is gonna try and take stuff from the environment or what they already know, and then
be like, oh shit,
kind of
that's why.
Water it down, connect. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. I wish I had that function in abundance because it would make it so much easier to explain, and it just feels like a better function to have, really. Onto my personal beef, no, but I hate having such bad intuition functions for both internal and external focus, because it's really annoying. Sometimes I'll have days where I show a slight knowledge of internal intuition, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing it, I'm growing. When no, it was just that one day, and I can never do it again.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it does always depend on the situation as well, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Now, I have another question for you, which I think you'll be rambling about a lot.
Oh, also, before you get onto that,
yeah,
I think this series is actually a really good idea, especially for on the topic your MBTI, because since you're internal thinking dominant, then you're gonna be asking a lot of questions like why and how, rather than just being like, okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Okay. What was your question?
which website do you think is the worst website to get answers on MBTI from? Reddit or Quora?
Oh, okay. Quora I've never actually looked at for MBTI, but I have seen like I've seen this specific there's this Reddit page for MBTI,
Mm-hmm.
subreddit for MBTI, and a lot of people in there they've either come from 16personalities.com, so it's a hit or miss, or it's people that actually know about cognitive functions and they do in-depth analyses about characters,
Mm-hmm.
which is epic. But otherwise, um, the people on the subreddit are kind of just like posting memes
Oh.
with the sprites from 16personalities.com, which
Oh
is
yeah, I've seen some of
cringe,
those.
right?
With the
And
like
remember when you showed
stretched
me
out
that
font.
thing where everybody hated Iron
Oh
Man?
yeah.
Where did that come from?
I
The
don't
subreddit?
know. It was like I found it on Pinterest, but I'm sure it didn't originate from there.
Yeah, yeah. I think Pinterest, bro. Hate Pinterest. I swear, I keep like saying that I hate it and I'm never gonna use it, but I use it most of the time.
The next day.
That's really funny. The next day, yeah. Quora, I've never actually looked at or seen any MBTI related things from there.
Do you think
So
you'd look at it
I'm
now?
gonna have to say, huh?
Do you think you'd look at it now?
Let me see. MBTI Quora. Alright, let's see. Oh, dude. Oh,
Oh no.
dude. Oh, dude. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Alright, all of this is just... Okay, well, not all of this, but the first one that I've seen that I'm automatically going to apply to all of the rest of them is that, they're just posting their opinions on each MBTI and saying that they have a PhD. Okay, yeah, it's just an overview of each MBTI and saying what they think about them.
Mm. That yeah,
Um,
honestly, that
alright.
is kind of basically what all of Core is when it comes to MBTI. I
You're
gotta be
right.
honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say the subreddit probably has more
Substance.
actual actual like thoughtful analyses in there rather than just uh saying your stereotype of each MBTI like on Quora. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, the subreddit's not free from that, but there are more people on there
Mm.
that actually go into it. Okay.
Okay, I have
Any
another
more
question,
questions?
guys. I have another question. Oh
Hell
my gosh.
yeah! Keep them running.
I
We've been
think.
doing this for I don't remember.
Oh well, we'll figure it out. It's fine.
We've been doing this for 34 minutes. There you go. Boom. Done.
Whoa, that's actually quite a
Alright.
short time. And it's fine though. We'll cut it down. Anyway, we'll cut it down.
We'll extend it.
Yeah, we'll extend it, guys.
We'll cut it down.
We'll cut it
All
down.
this in
Cut
the
it down
trash.
like wood.
What?
Okay.
Oh! I thought you said put it down. And I was like,
No.
no, that's more like an animal.
Anyway, I think we're going a bit off topic.
Whoops.
I think you might have a field day with this one, but I'm not sure. Have you ever mistyped anyone? Like, have you ever mistyped anyone and then realized, like, some way through in your relationship with them, oh my gosh, now I know.
I think with you, I've actually done that.
Oh no.
It's not like a bad thing. I just thought you would use different functions because honestly, I had no idea. Because I don't think I like spoke to you enough about your thought process to properly analyze you. But either way, I had no idea that you used internal thinking so much. And now that you have explained it to me, I do know.
Whoa.
But otherwise, I had mistyped you. I haven't even given you a type. Usually, when I analyze people, I just
When you analyze.
kind of. I mean, when I analyze people, I usually just think of what functions they use and then stop there because I can't be bothered to put them in the stacks. But I've also I've also actually like interviewed my parents,
Mhm.
like, well, more so my dad, on what his MBTI might be,
Mhm.
and I did this last year, and based on my overviews of each of the functions, I typed him as INTP, and upon further analysis, that's probably correct. He's either INTP or ISTP,
Mhm.
and that's awesome. Um, but there actually has been more times where I would uh, judge a person's MBTI upon like first meeting them,
Mhm.
and then over time forget what I was doing, and then come back later and then realize that they are what I had originally said.
Oh wow.
And usually that happens because I tell them to take the test that I recommended earlier,
Oh okay. Mhm.
michaelcarlos.com/personality. Um, and
Honestly,
I'm
W
usually
Michael. Sorry.
I'm usually W Mac. I usually am right, which is pretty epic.
Mhm.
But otherwise, there has been. I can definitely think of two people, not including you, that I still have no idea.
Mhm.
Um, because I'm not really. Some people just don't really talk about themselves that
Oh
much, and
yeah.
others I can't like organize the functions because they literally are not present enough to do so.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Wow. Not the wow.
Wow.
Oh no, I don't know what
Um,
else to ask, guys. Why am I asking you, guys? Like, raise your hands if you have a
live
question,
chat,
guys.
please respond. Okay. Oh, you know what we could do?
Mhm.
Um,
Whoops, guys,
if
wrong
you
tab. Okay, wrong topic, guys. Okay.
once you upload this,
Mhm.
you could get people to ask more questions, and you could have like recurring guests to like clear up
Oh
questions.
yeah, that's a good idea.
I
We'll
think
do
that'd be
like
pretty epic.
episode 2 and episode 3. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Guys,
Otherwise,
type some
I was
questions and
gonna.
comments down below. Oh yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
Yes, I was gonna say there's this part of personality database where they assign MBTI to songs and
Oh,
occupations. Like,
I
I'm
can
not
already,
sure why
yeah,
you
I
would
can
do
already
that.
kind of
There's not
see
people.
what would be an issue with that. Yeah.
um, I guess it's not really an issue. Um, it's just like strange because they're not really people. Like, how
Mm,
bored are you uh, to like analyze what a philosopher should have their MBTI as? Um,
they're doing objects
I
next,
have
guys.
yes. What does my draw MBTI? Yes.
Depending on what
Okay.
color your paper is. Okay.
um. Yeah. So okay. Even though I've spoken about that, I have indulged in that myself upon finding out about it.
Mhm.
Like there'll be songs where that's actually interesting. That reminds me. Okay, there'll be songs where I'll guess the MBTI and then I'll go check what the other people say, and it would be completely different, and I'd be like wondering how they even got to that conclusion.
Mhm.
And that brings me to was it Cardi B that made WAP?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Let me just pull it up. Okay, personality database. Cardi B
No
WAP.
way. I was about to say, while you're doing that, I was about to say, not gonna lie, I can kind of see how some songs can have, like, an MBTI, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially if there's songs like about the person
Or,
or a
yeah, or, like,
story.
just illustrating vulnerable feelings in general.
Definitely. But anyway, so I remember my friend had shown me the Cardi B WAP personality database,
Uh huh.
and people were actually having a war about
A
whether it was
war?
ESFP or yes or INTJ, and that was just insane to me. The war is settled now because it's now ESFP by 1110 to INTJ 968, but they used to be
Mhm.
neck and neck.
Oh my gosh.
Um, yeah, like you check after an hour, and the other one would be ahead of the
That's
last one.
amazing.
It was insane. I don't know how you could even like analyze Cardi B WAP, but okay.
Well, I mean,
Cardi B WAP.
honestly, you can tell, or rather, obviously, you can tell that instead of WAP, it was indeed WAR.
Yeah, stupid. Yeah, I guess from the top, make a drop. That's some ESFP.
Oh my god. I thought you were gonna say, like, that's a war or something.
No. They were arguing between ESFP and INTJ,
Mhm.
which is the complete opposite,
Mhm.
which is really interesting because their stacks are completely reversed. Um, so, and also on the note of analyzing an occupation,
Mm.
I was taking philosophy at the time at my school,
Mhm.
and I had thought like the best person that could take philosophy would
Holy shit,
be
you're in year
in like
11. Sorry, guys.
yes, and at the most like would be an ENTP because they have like lots of expanding ideas, and
Mhm.
then two, they like to like think, they like to understand 100% of something before they go on to something else.
Mhm.
That's what I thought at least, but let me see if personality database philosophy. Yeah, philosophy MBTI personality type. They had put it. Oh, okay. They stopped. I just can't find it.
Oh no.
Philosopher personnel. Here it is. Yeah, they had analyzed it as INFJ, which
Mm.
I'm not sure why. I guess I guess they would be taking multiple ideas, trying to narrow it down, and then like apply it to other people to inspire them or to follow it or
Mm.
something. But I don't really know. I would prefer calling them ENTP. This one's also at a war. Okay,
Oh no.
okay.
Who is it now?
Yeah, it's okay. Right now it's INFJ by 588, and the second most is INTP by 561.
Oh my god.
So I suppose I'm gonna have to check back on that later. It literally says in debate
Oh my gosh.
in the app. That's insane.
What are some of the
Um,
points that people are making?
Let me see. Philosopher.
Oh, by the way, while you're doing that, can I like have can I say something?
Yeah, of course.
I remember before, people were doing these TikTok trends where they do like, your character by your like MBTI, right? And you know, I wanted to check which fruits basket character I was.
Mhm.
And I also wanted to check my Sailor Moon character I was, because
Yeah.
I'm just like that, I guess. And
Neurodivergent. I mean, normal.
well, okay, I got upset because I
Yeah.
wasn't related to any of my favorite characters.
So real.
Oops, it
Um.
was so real that the that I glitched for a second, guys.
um. Let me check. Okay. Let me check from my list. What do I have here? Estrogen is a disease.
Huh?
That's not what I'm looking for. I had like quoted my friend while they were having like sleep talking moments.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, ISTJ. I had only gotten 3 characters out of like the 34 that I had to choose from as ISTJ.
Mhm.
Um, and while they were probably some of my favorites from whatever they're from, it was the least common in the list that I'd made.
Mm.
Um, and speaking of TikToks where it's like your character or
Oh
whatever,
no.
I was seeing memes where it was like, MBTI in a Zoom call, and it was just like really random stuff that like didn't have anything to do with MBTI at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you would think an ESFP would
Scream
I don't even remember what
aggressively
the
into
video
this.
was, dude. Yeah, probably. Like mass spam memes or something. I don't even care, bro. That was in like 2020. So
Yeah. Flashbacks.
for the comments on the philosopher things, it's crazy.
Oh no.
They're arguing a little bit. They're like, it is strange. Often in the MBTI community, the intuitive function is said to be tied to philosophy. Like, okay, dude, I don't really care. it's an occupation. You don't have to analyze it.
I mean, the whole point about philosophy is analyzing. Okay, I'm done.
But that's MBTI.
I'm just saying. Whoops.
Jesus!
The glitch again. The glitch again.
I have the same anagram as Jesus H. Christ.
What?
This is epic.
Oh, that's why they call you holy. I'm done.
My
I'm done.
About Jesus. That's insane. Why do they have an about me page for Jesus? That's insane. Okay, that's epic. It's just a picture of some AI generated guy as his picture. So that's really funny. By the way, I'm not really fond of personality database because while it is like useful for if I want to not analyze a character myself and just check what the majority thinks, the majority thinks thing is
Can be
probably
questionable.
wrong a lot because I'm not sure how many people on personality database actually know cognitive functions well, other than the 16 personalities version. But yeah. I hate those guys.
Would you rather?
The last time I took the test, it gave me ESTJ, which is fair, but like, still, you're wrong. Okay, what were you gonna say?
Oh, would you rather? This is the most stupid question I've probably said here. Would you rather ban 16 personalities or ban Quora MBTI? MBTI Quora?
I don't think enough people use Quora.
Oh, gosh darn it.
So I don't think
Quora.
it matters that much.
I use Quora as a joke. Okay.
I think a lot of people just misunderstand MBTI because of 16 personalities, and I might have not just looked into it enough, but that's what I'm going with right now. So I'm gonna say ban 16 personalities, dude.
Okay.
I don't want to see any more memes where it's shipping MBTIs.
Shipping them.
And it's yes, they make like Pinterest images where it's like if an INFP was your girlfriend, and it's just like
it's like with those astrology signs.
Yes, I have a massive problem with those too. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like a tiny little image of the girl avatar, and then it's just a bunch of quotes that could be from anybody.
Oh my gosh.
Around her saying like, yeah.
That's an amazing quote.
Yes, you're welcome. All I can remember on the quotes was sorry. Just a lot of sorries. I'm not sure why you're that apologetic, bro. You're INFP. I think my opinion of what INFP is based on actually studying functions versus what 16 personalities has made of it are really, really different because
wait, INFP or MBTI?
Me... Huh?
INFP or MBTI? Sorry, I got lost for a second.
INFP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Our views of INFP are like really different. I haven't looked into any of the other ones, but INFP, I see a lot of memes from 16personalities.com.
16personalities.com has memes?
No, but like people that only know
Oh,
MBTI
okay.
from that would be insane.
The meme section in 16
But actually,
personalities.
speaking of that, no, in your results section, you have to fucking pay to see some of your results.
Oh my god.
Which is ridiculous because most of it is wrong anyway. But anyway, yeah, so my understanding of INFP is that they're like assertive of what they want, whereas what 16 personalities has made of INFP is like this really shy, mentally ill, fucking insane girl.
Okay.
There was this meme where it was like a cycle, and it was something like it was either like everyone hates me to I'm amazing into I am not real. Like what?
What?
I've never met an INFP that thinks like that. Like other than the person that showed me it, but I don't even think that they're INFP. But anyway, that's just really weird to me. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why people are projecting mental illness moments onto 16personalities.com avatars. Yeah, so I think a lot of people are too quick to project what they feel with their MBTI onto the MBTI itself. Like, I don't think they're aware that
everyone is different, basically.
That plus they might be having
a hard time,
extremely mentally ill moments where their
cutting you
functions
out,
are
by the
wrong.
way. Sorry that I'm cutting you out, by the way.
Yeah.
You did mention before, like with the shipping MBTIs, and I'm assuming, I don't know if you know about this, but there's like a bunch of memes that like target specific MBTIs, like MBTIs rather. Like everyone hates INTP, like INTP is not going to get any, and it, like with all of the How do you feel about those? I'm sure I already know that. I'm sure we all already know the answer to this.
Okay, once again, stupid. Okay, every MBTI person is different. Like a lot of people will say that ISTJ are boring, overly logical, don't know how to respond to situations emotionally, or they're just like too focused on logic and just really struggle to prioritize other people. But I'm not like that. So like one stereotype cannot be generalized to every other person part of the community. And two, it's not your personality. MBTI is not like your entire personality. Mental illness, INFP. Okay.
With your first statement as
like,
well. Oh yeah, you can go.
Yeah, like externally, a lot of people wouldn't think that I think with logic first and foremost, because outwardly I'm very silly and not at all how I think when I am just thinking. So you can't really generalize an MBTI to every person because you don't know what they're actually like.
And
what were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, really. What I was gonna say is like really, with your first statement saying that you know you can't really stereotype, a personality type. Really, that goes for like basically anyone from any community. Yeah, just everyone, everything.
Yeah, like all gay people like pink. Like no.
Yeah.
Oh, gay people. Do you like pink makeup?
I mean, you're asking the wrong person.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, I don't think all gay people
Yeah.
like pink. Especially, I mean, like a gay man, really. Um, yeah. Stereotypes. Alright, epic.
Stereotypes really, like, let's be honest, I know we're going a bit off topic, but stereotypes are kind of what's bringing the world down right now. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
The whole, like, all the isms are just because of stereotypes. Like, um, like, men and women are taught from a young age to like act a certain way, which is stereotypical, and then they have to grow up to be that stereotype,
Mm,
etc. Like, the whole world is just a stereotype right
yeah.
now. Um, and I know that MBTI stereotypes is like a little speck of dust compared to the massive fucking pile that is all of the isms.
Mm.
But you know, special interests, whatever. Guess I'm just cool like that. What? Okay.
Um, I do have another question, by the way,
Yep.
which is more not directed to me because I already took it. I already took the
Mm-hmm.
test. But, like, you know that test that you recommended, the Michael Collins, I believe it
Yeah.
was?
Yep.
Yes, I got it right! Okay.
Nice.
um, a lot of people who I've tried to get to take the test have said, "Oh, like it's too long. I'm not going to do that." What's your response to that? Do you think the test is still like worth taking just for the length, or like what's your opinion on that?
I think the length of the test. I think have those people taken the 16personalities.com test?
Yeah.
Do they think that that one's better in terms of how the questions are?
Uh, I'm pretty sure they have since they, like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Um, I think it's mainly the like they're used to how that one is because that one is only like a scale of I don't know 1 to 5 on how much you agree to something,
Mm.
and whereas the Michael Carlos test is it has a bunch of different types of questions and different formats,
Mhm.
and it's all for the sake of better understanding you and your type, which I think is much better than just agreeing or disagreeing to uh, like a very common thing.
Mhm.
Like one of the questions on 16 personalities was um, like I think everyone hates me or something like that.
Mm.
Like anybody could feel that way, but
Yeah.
I don't think that determines your type.
Especially the way the questions on 16 personalities are like vaguely worded too.
Yeah, definitely. They don't give you enough insight on a lot of the questions. Like with the Michael Carlos, they even go out of their way to have
Examples,
what's it called?
backstories.
Yeah, examples. Um,
Not
and
backstories,
they
guys.
even like show you what your question hints to or
Mm.
your answer, which is also really good. You should always, unless it's like a school exam, take a test that actually like clue you in on what they're
Mm.
actually testing. I feel like that's just a more morally correct way to test.
Mhm. And it does also, make the UI or user experience very handy too.
Yeah. Oh,
How much time?
anymore. Oh, we have been doing this for approximately 59 minutes. I can't
Whoa.
stop saying minutes, bro. Minutes. Okay, there we go.
All right. Well, maybe I'll just think of like one more question and then, or maybe you can tell a story or something. I don't know, and then we'll end.
Okay. Epic sauce.
Crickets.
Um,
Sorry.
I think another thing I could say to just fill in the empty space. You don't have to include like any of the off-topic spiel stuff, but
Mm.
I'd like to further there are memes. Okay, I have two things to say.
Mhm.
There are these templates that I do see where it's like the stereotypes of this MBTI versus what I've actually seen from people with this MBTI.
Sorry guys,
And
got
those
the
ones I
glitching. Hold
feel
on.
way better explain what the MBTI is like compared to the stereotypes, and I appreciate those. And a second thing was I like to practice understanding other MBTIs by creating characters and trying to understand how they think, which is pretty epic.
That is actually really cool, by the way.
Thanks, man. Only took a year now to learn.
Wow.
I'm still learning. That's crazy.
I mean, we're all still learning in a way. Ooh, got poetic, guys. Anyway.
That's crazy.
Oh
okay. Another thing is that ever since I started studying it, I feel like since I have such high internal sensing, I think about it a lot. I think about how I can judge a person based on the knowledge that I already know about MBTI. So I think that's really handy, being the MBTI that I am and studying it. Because one time I had like a moment where I couldn't really focus on anything, and so I just instead was brainstorming about MBTIs and stuff, and for some reason it calmed me down.
Honestly, that's fair
That
though.
was pretty epic.
That's fair though.
Okay? Yeah. I feel like anybody's special interest could either calm them down or make them extremely insane. So that's pretty awesome.
Did you just say like Mick? Really? Or like were you lagging?
I said
before that.
anybody's special interest could either calm them down or make them extremely insane.
I mean, before that. Oops.
Oh.
Like in between those, I just heard.
I'll run that back on the recording. I wonder if I said that just by accident.
I thought I was cutting out.
I'm not sure.
I think I should give off one more question, but I don't know what to say, guys. I'm thinking.
I should probably make a list of the MBTIs that I like the most. I was actually my friend was like ranking a bunch of their fictional crushes, and I was doing some like analysis with the data of like what MBTI is most most attractive to them. So I feel like I should do something of the same type where I rank how much I like each MBTI. I could probably do that right now. Let me find a tier list.
Wow.
This is
sorry.
I don't really know enough people of each thing, so I'm just gonna have to go based on what do I think of them. Oh, they're all the way at the bottom, bro.
What? Who?
ISFP.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what's the reason?
I'm putting INTP at the bottom too.
What's the reason?
That's interesting, actually.
The reason is interesting? The reason why you put...
No, I was thinking about if the fact that it was just like one function out of whack, if my opinion would change. They're okay, I guess.
Yeah, they're okay, I guess.
This is so...
Okay, sorry.
Wilted flower emoji. I don't really... Ever since my friend raised the point that all with high external feeling like need a lot of attention. I
Mhm.
think that's changed what I think about them a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna have to like take that into consideration and change where I put them. Oh, and a further thing is I noticed when I thought that all INFP people were kind of just selfish and kind of rude.
Mhm.
Um, I then what was I gonna say, bro? I can't even remember. Um, alright, scratch that. I immediately forgot what I was gonna say, so that's pretty epic. INTJ. Sure, I'll go there. I don't care. Um,
I do have another question though, if
Oh
it's
yeah.
okay for you. Okay. Um, here's a question. When you were thinking that, like, when you were at that point in your life where you thought that a lot of MBTI types were specifically like, you know, like you said, like, oh my gosh, I forgot what you said, but like when they were
Personality.
like specific, they're like always evil or they're always good or something. That's like how I'm narrowing it down. Yeah, you get what I mean, right?
Always evil,
They're
always
always
kill
evil
yourself.
and always good. Yeah. Well, you get the idea, right? When you thought that way, have you noticed or did you notice that like your friendships with the people that you looked down up, or the people with the MBTI types that you looked down upon, did you notice that they were like failing as a result of how you thought, or like what do you think about
um,
that? That's a random
hmm.
question, but like whatever.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like I put
You're a very good answerer.
I was with those. I was actually because I wanted some of the relationships to work out.
Mm.
Um, so there's 2 points. So for some of them, I wanted the relationship to work out, so I would like softly criticize them so that they wouldn't have a mental illness moment about it.
Mhm.
And then teach them how to get better at prioritizing other people.
Mhm.
Which then in hand also proved to me that not all INFP people are very self-absorbed.
Mhm.
They can be different. Um, and on the second point, I either just like was less engaged when I spoke to them. So I guess yeah, it did kind of the relationship did kind of dissipate after that. Where I would just like pretend to be interested in what they were talking about
Oh.
and to like save their feelings because they were I don't know very 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 assertive about what they like.
Mm.
Um, a lot of people that I don't like uh, have high internal feeling, and that's just because they haven't really developed external feeling. Like
Mhm.
they don't know when to stop talking about themselves. Oh, and I remember what I was going to say. Um, when I talk to some INFP people about like personal issues,
Mhm.
um, they will actually like talk about themselves as a way of like showing you that you're not alone rather than just
Mm.
making it about themselves. So I had this mindset where it was just one thing specifically, but then I was shown later that it's not always that,
Oh
which
yeah.
is pretty epic.
I
Yeah,
do have another question, and forgive me
yeah.
if this was already answered. But
Why?
in 16 personalities, I know one of the results is like introversion, ambiversion, and extroversion. Do you think
Oh
that
yeah.
corresponds to MBTI types that much, or does it really depend, or like what's your opinion on that?
For 16personalities.com, they always say that like each each letter is um like specific to something, but I don't. I guess that's like an okay overview. Until it gets to the point where they're just describing personalities and
Mm.
stereotyping. Um, but I don't. I just don't really like how lazy it is for like the most well-known MBTI website that there is.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of just misguides everybody about what MBTI is because it's really a bunch of functions in the categories that I showed you earlier, rather than just letters for each thing. For example, they have E or I being extroversion or introversion, which is where you get your energy from, which it isn't in the type that I explained to you.
Yeah.
And then they have the next one, S or N, being whether you're more observant or intuitive, I guess. And then, which is also kind of silly because, you know, okay. And then, thinking, feeling, what you prioritize the most, and then J or P being if you perceive or judge. It's very different to how Carl Jung had it, and I just think it's, as I said, since it's the most well-known one, it's misguiding a lot of people.
For sure, for sure. Also, when you said
Yeah.
J or P, I misheard J as jail, and I was like, what? Hold on a second.
No, don't take me back.
Take me back. Oh.
When will I get out of the psych ward?
Oh, no.
Stupid.
The Ponytown screenshot.
Yes. That's so epic.
Should I cut that out of the?
I think you should put that in, actually.
Okay. We're gonna get so many views from it.
Yeah, you should put hashtag Ponytown in the tags.
Okay.
It'll get so many views.
From like random Ponytown posts. I wanted to look at how to.
Okay. I did my tier list.
Oh yay!
And I very lazily did it. I didn't do much thinking when I did this. But
okay.
Okay. As you can see, my highest ones are people.
Oh wait,
with,
where are you putting it?
I just sent it on the Discord.
Okay.
But anyway, as you can see, I put
sorry.
In the S. Yeah, make sure to crop it because I was too lazy to do that.
Okay.
Anyway. As you can see, the people that I liked the most was people with a reasonable amount of external feeling. So, like, they know how to respond to other people well, but not to the point that they're super dependent, like people that are dominant with external feeling. At the bottom is mainly people with high external intuition, just because I don't like how some of them can be kind of annoying. As a person that like really likes the most efficient answer, them like looking for every single possibility just makes me a little bit annoyed because you could do the you could just do the easy way out. Sigma, I mean, in the middle, I don't really care. C, I care a little bit less. And in the A, I care a little bit more.
Okay. That's great.
That's so funny. Okay, we've been doing this interview for an hour and 14 minutes. I think that's pretty epic.
Okay, I'm gonna do my outro.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so... Hold on, give me a second.
That was too energetic, bro.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cups, for watching the first episode of... Oh, shit.
Interest Illuminated.
Illuminated. Thank you so much, Cups, for watching the first or listening to the first episode of Interest Illuminated. I appreciate you being here, and I'm sure Lee does too, I hope.
No, actually.
How dare you? I'm never inviting you on here again. You're banned.
Like, subscribe, hit that bell, follow, check out the other socials, join my Discord, etc.
By the way, I don't think I have this on my card or anything, but I have a Tumblr account. Oh, I have a Tumblr
It's a
account,
secret.
and I post beetle art on Tumblr. So follow that. Oh, speaking of that, the next person that's gonna be on here, or one of the next, I'm not exactly sure. One of the next people on here is gonna be.
So sorry, guys. I don't know what came over me.
Thanks for your contribution. One of the next people on here is gonna be talking about the Beatles, so that's cool. We're gonna have a field
The
day with
what?
that one. The Beatles.
The
The Beatles.
Oh, the Beatles! Oh, so you're next on?
No,
here?
no, it's some
Alex
other.
will
It's
come.
someone else. It's someone else. Imagine me interviewing myself for
Interviewing
an episode.
yourself? That's so epic.
Hey
Oh,
guys,
I should be a
I'm here
recurring
with
guest, and I'll do the interview
myself.
questions for you.
Oh my gosh. We do like an April Fool's episode where I interview myself, and then all the
April
past
Fools
guests like
in
come on.
January. Yes.
January
So epic.
Fools.
I'll draw like a sprite where I'm cosplaying you.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Okay. That's
Well,
epic.
yeah. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Love you all. Except.
I don't.
Okay. I love you all. Except, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah.
Except if you don't subscribe.
Yeah,
And I
if you-
don't. In my opinion, means a lot.
Okay.
I can't believe you said that, Mick. What the freak?
Bro, you're not cosplaying me. You're not.
Oh.
Who's the cosplayer from
You should put
Danganronpa?
that
Junko?
Duolingo Mick emoji on top of me again.
Who's the cosplayer from Danganronpa? Is it Junko?
Sumugi.
Yeah, you're not them.
Ah, damn it. That's probably a good thing, actually.
Oh no. Okay, anyway. Thanks so much. See you in the next one. Bye! Hold on, let me stop the recording.